Hey, it's Ryan from upfitsupply.com, and in this video we're going to be installing some Legend motion sensor ceiling lights in our GMC Savana. Let's get started. All right, real quick, number one, this video does not replace the installation instructions provided by the manufacturer, so be sure you reference those for the ultimate source of truth on installing these. Number two, we're kind of halfway in the middle of installing our ceiling liners here, and I wanted to get our lights in first before we finished off and put in our seals and stuff like that. So that's kind of why the van is in a state that it is in. Now, if you're interested in these ceiling liners, we've got a separate video of installing those, and then you can watch that and this video to figure out when to put the ceiling lights in. So we're kind of doing it at this stage before we get our sill in place so we can still access this channel back here to run our wiring. Now, the installation instructions in a 3-light setup, what they want you to do is take a measurement from back to the front of the ceiling area and take a measurement there. I'm just going to mimic it on the floor because it's a lot easier to have gravity hold your tape measure down. And I am at 128 inches. Now we're going to take that measurement and we're going to divide it by 6. That's 21.3 inches. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to measure from the front, 21.3 inches, call it 21.25. That's where our first light's going to go. Then we're going to take 2 times that measurement so 42 inches essentially, 42 and a half. Second light, another 42 and a half, our third light, and then it's going to give us that remaining 21 before we get to this back door. So you kind of have the lights kind of, one light is centered in the middle and then one's more towards the back, more towards the front. I'm going to take that measurement now. I'm just going to use a Sharpie. I'm going to make a little mark on the side of my ceiling liner. You could also do it on the frame or something like that on the van, just to mark where those measurements are going to be. Now this first one, my 21.25 here, is going to conflict with this cross member in the ceiling. So I either want to go behind it or in front of it a little bit. I think I'd rather err towards this side because I have my partition right here. I don't really need that lit up. So I'm going to go a little bit beyond this. It's going to be about 26 inches. Right here. So this is essentially where our lights are going to go. So we're going to get our wiring in place so that we can get ready to connect them, put our holes in our liners. If you don't have ceiling liners, these lights actually have a bracket that you can purchase. Attach the light to the bracket, and then the bracket can attach to one of your cross members here in the ceiling. The nice thing about this lighting kit is it's all plug and play. So we have this connect to your power source or your battery. We've got a clip, got an extension cord. This clips into the battery. Then you're going to go into a T. Then from this T, you're going to take another extension and you go right in here to the light. So it's all plug and play. You're not having to do any splicing or crimping and all of that. So in your kit, you're going to have these extension cords. You're going to have one that's kind of like 5 feet, 5.5. Then you're going to have another one. It's going to be longer than 6 feet. It's like 8 feet or so. It's all in meters, but you're gonna have shorter ones and longer ones essentially. So depending on how you're gonna run your lights, you may need to use short ones or long ones. The third one. So I've roughed in my wiring. Got a short piece that runs out to my first light, another short piece that runs out to a T right here, short piece off of that that's gonna go up to here, then a long piece off that other end of the T. It's going all the way back here to my third and final light. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually put some holes in these liners for my lights. And they give you this little template inside the box. You can also use a hole saw if you have one, and you might want to do that before the liner's installed. But this is a nice tool for getting that lined up. Now, the important thing is just to make sure it's centered on the van. Nice thing is, we have a little rivet right here that's essentially centered in the van. We also have our cutouts here for our factory lights that we can use as an indexing point to center these on the roof. Now I can use my template here. It's got a centering point right here. Trace a circle for our light. Now when cutting your holes, you want to use a nice sharp razor blade. Mine's a little dull, so I'm going to flip it around. So the lights come with this little bag of screws taped to it. These kind of have a thin thread to them. This is really meant to go into like sheet metal. Then Legend provides these thicker self-threading screws that match a lot of their other things that are really designed to go into the liners. So I'm going to be using these for going into our liners. Now you can see the motion sensor part of the light. So if you want the motion sensor facing this rear door, essentially, it does have kind of a 360 view, but if you want it closer to that rear door, for example, so it turns on sooner when you enter, just face that in the right direction. Now on this front one towards the cab, I like to keep the motion sensor pointed backwards, because sometimes when you're in the driver's seat, you can trigger the light to turn on and you don't want it to. So if you just put it a little bit further away, that helps. Under the seat on the Savana, we do have a fuse panel here. You see we do have our positive post right there that we just tied into. And then we ground it over here on one of these bolts here. And then we run it under the seat and up the trim around the B-pillar. Nice and easy connection there. Of course, this is going to vary from vehicle to vehicle. All right, with our fuse put in place, our lights are working correctly. So we're going to continue the installation of our ceiling liners next. Again, if you're interested in these liners, check out that video where we're going to kind of clean up everything and put our sills in place and finish out this install. Now again, if you're looking for these lights or any other equipment to get your van ready for work, be sure to check us out at upfitsupply.com. Again, my name is Ryan, and have a good one.